Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Looks like the Q's this morning's flat. Not much action going on pre-market. SPY down 41 cents, so basically flat as well. Your VIX this morning is basically flat, so not much action. Kind of flat this morning. Surprising. We haven't really seen this in a while. See what kind of economic news we might have going on for the day. So today is Tuesday, March 24th. So 8:15 we have ADP employment change for the week, non-farm productivity, and unit labor cost. Red Book year over year at 855, 920. Fed bill purchases. That's not really anything. Okay, 945. We have the S&P Global Composite PMI, and then at 10 o'clock we have Richmond Fed Manufacturing. We have a 2-year note auction. That's not really going to do much. API crude oil stock change and Fed bar speech. So we have a Fed speaker today, so be aware of that. And that's going to cover it. So just be aware of that. We do have some economic news coming out for the day, unlike yesterday. But we did get that Trump headline, basically saying that we're going to not strike Iran for 5 days, I believe it was. And you saw the market get a nice relief bounce off of that. But it's funny how things work, because basically the Qs, the S&P, they were all at pretty big supports, and news comes out and we get that bounce. So usually you see it in the charts first, and then the news follows to make the move happen. So that's exactly what we saw. So we'll see how everything reacts. We saw like oil get a push down, and then it kind of recovered. Same with like your oil names. Oil names got hit pretty hard in pre-market, and then they recovered a lot of what they lost. So on the VIX, I'd want to see a rejection at that 28 level. We're at 26.53 right now on the VIX. Let's see. So we got oil. Oil's at 90.54. So oil is still coming down a little bit here. You can see yesterday, this is where we got that move down right here. We went all the way down to 84.49, so 84.50 basically bounced up. And so I don't know if we kind of might have a little bear flag going here, or if we kind of recuperate and kind of push back up. But you can see oil kind of went up into this area here around 92, and you can see it's pretty big resistance there now. It looks like was support before, now it's maybe turned resistance. So we might come down a little bit more on oil, right? If there's any stocks you want to take a look at, put them in the chat and we'll take a look. Any questions you might have, be happy to try to help you out. So we got CrowdStrike this morning. So yesterday it was up $4 and it's basically flat this morning. You see Nvidia came down to our support here. It's 170.95. Got a nice bounce up when that news came out yesterday. Gapped up and we kind of just flagged out. So it'll be interesting to see if we kind of fade this whole move or if we actually get some continuation here. But as of right now, we're kind of meeting some resistance, so we'll see how we react this morning. Still early in the pre-market, right? Meta, they got that gap up as well, back over 600 and closed over 600 yesterday, a psychological level. 604 basically went up $10 yesterday, and this morning we're basically in the exact same spot. SMCI closed up 5% yesterday. It's down 10 cents this morning, or up 10 cents this morning. But we're still under this 22 level, so that's kind of what I was expecting, see like a retest of the 22 area before we get any continuation to the downside. But it looks like we've had a couple of touch points now, and now we're kind of curling back down. Like I said previously, I still would not touch this thing any kind of bullish side. I don't care if it gets a bounce or not. With all the negative news this company's had, no way. So we got AMD this morning. What's going on with AMD? So AMD closed up $1.35. Now it's basically flat this morning. We're under that 204.65 level, which has been some resistance. You can see where we came up here, touched, rejected. So it's been a pretty significant level right here. It's almost like a double top here, right? Right around that 209 level. And that's on AMD. Palantir, kind of the same look as AMD, right? You got that double top going. Went up, hit this exactly, that 161 level. It's amazing how levels work, right? So if we can't get over that 161, I do expect us to come all the way back down to that 156, 157 area before we get a bounce. But you can see like that's kind of where we went down, right, yesterday, and got a nice bounce, right? So now it's like we made that support at that 156, 157 level. We went up, rejected so far at that 161. So we need to get a push through that 161 area for some continuation upside. That's Palantir. Amazon, it closed up $4.77 yesterday. It's currently down 28 cents. So basically flat this morning. Apple Oven closed up $16.50, and it's basically flat this morning. But you can see we got that gap up, and then we pushed it market open all the way up to our trend line here at 472.79. You got a rejection. So these charts all have similar looks. You can see where they had a previous high, and we came up, met that high, and got rejected, right? So we could form like a little small cup and handle here potentially to push up, or we could just continue back down after getting that rejection. Google closed up $1 yesterday. It's down 42 cents this morning. ARM closed up $4 yesterday, flat this morning. It's kind of the trend so far. I mean, basically everything's pretty much flat. I don't see any outliers as of yet this morning. But it does look like we had a nice little bounce yesterday in the markets compared to Friday, right? Which was kind of to be expected, as big of a push down as we had. Coin up $3 yesterday, flat this morning. MSTR up $2 yesterday, basically flat this morning. We're still under that 139 level on MSTR. Here's Bitcoin. We got to push up to about almost 172. But you can see we're holding this level here is pretty big support at 170, or excuse me, 70,000 level. Bounced off of it twice here and pushed up, flagging right now. So we'll see if we can break this area at that basically 71.80. If we can get over that, we should get cruising. But you want to see us on Bitcoin get back over that 74,000 level, back above this level here to really get moving. But until then, we're kind of just in this range. Let's look at your oil names this morning. Wake my keyboard up. Oxy. So Oxy's down 20 cents. So basically flat this morning. Yesterday closed down 40 cents. After you can see this initial push down, basically inverse of the market, right? Got a pretty big flush down from that 61 area back down to 57.88. But you can see how we definitely held this as support. So that's a pretty big level at that 57.88 on Oxy. So now ultimately you want to see us get back over that 61.20 level on Oxy for some continuation upside. But if we break below our $60 level, we could come back down to this 57.88. So just be aware of that. And then Chevron. Chevron's actually green. It closed green yesterday, so it was a little bit stronger. Closed up $3 yesterday, and it basically is up $1 this morning. Let's look at Exxon. Exxon was green yesterday, $1.46, and it's currently up 50 cents this morning. So you're seeing some upside on some of these oil names. Let's see how the cruise lines are doing. Royal Caribbean, it closed up 6%. So you're seeing some pretty good movement in Royal Caribbean regarding like when oil gets a bounce or when oil retreats, right? So it's something to pay attention to, how they react to each other. So there's a pretty good trade to be had there on Royal Caribbean, because you can see we got a pretty big move yesterday, almost 6% on Royal Caribbean. Big push up, and they kind of held it right and just flagging up. So we'll see if we can continue this move up, or if we're in a rejection and come back down to this area here. See what your airlines are doing. So Delta got a big move yesterday, up 2.6%. That's up 16 cents this morning. You see that nice push up, and then kind of a flag. So we'll see if we can push up here, because we are coming down to some support in this area. Adobe. So Adobe closed flat yesterday and down $1 this morning. You can see it got that push up as well, but then just basically faded that whole move down. Interesting. So Adobe looking like on the daily right now. Still just hanging out in this area here. So it's going to be interesting to see if we get a lower low, if we end up pushing back down, or if we're going to hold here and push up. Good morning. Oh, no worries, no worries. Yesterday I didn't take any trades yesterday. What about you? With that gap up yesterday that we had, after Trump released that news and everything, just kind of let the market settle before I did anything. So I didn't really see anything, so I didn't take any trades. And that's something, if you're trading, you got to be okay with, right? So nice, good job. That's awesome. Glad to hear that. Sounds like you've had a pretty good little run streak here. Exactly, always. Just gotta be happy with what you get, though. If you made some money, then you did good. That's the thing in the stock market. Like, you can hold it and it goes opposite, and then you're like, oh, I should have sold it, and then you sell it and it keeps going. You're like, oh, I should have held it, right? So it's never gonna be a perfect exit. So as long as you made some money, you're in good shape. Yeah, exactly. Don't get too cocky. But no, that's all you want to do is once you just want to build consistency, right? And get in the rhythm and know what you have to do. So sounds like you're going in that right direction, which is awesome. I was actually looking at Oxy earlier. That's the weekly chart. So go to the 4 hour. So Oxy actually, when that news came out yesterday, it got a pretty big flush down. As you can kind of see right here, this is that news candle when Trump came out and said that they're basically going to pause for 5 days, I believe, something like that. So you saw the market get a nice move up, and then Oxy obviously got a push down with oil, but came down to like this 56 area and then kind of recovered throughout the day to only close down 40 cents. So that's a pretty strong move for Oxy. It's down 19 cents this morning. So you want to see it break that 61 area to go to the upside, but I wouldn't take any bullish bets on it unless we can get over that 61 area. If it gets a break above that 61.27, then you can continue upside. But like your other oil names were actually a little bit stronger than Oxy yesterday, like Chevron. Chevron closed up $3.48 yesterday, so it actually held pretty strong, and it's up 62 cents this morning. Same with Exxon. It was up $1.46 yesterday. It's up 43 cents this morning. So some of those names have been a little bit stronger. And then so like your Royal Caribbean, we've been kind of looking at it with the oil going down yesterday. It got a nice move, up almost 6%, up $15 yesterday. But you can see this big level here. It held 265. We kind of got a little liquidity grab, like went under, right, and then got a big pop up. So big move yesterday on Royal Caribbean. But it's been really sensitive to oil. So when oil gets a big push down, you see a nice pop on Royal Caribbean. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. So it might be something to pay attention to looking forward. And then also your airlines got nice moves up yesterday with oil going down. You see we got a nice push off this 55 area. I'm currently at 65. And then oil itself, let's take a look at oil. So here's that big move down on oil yesterday. And it's holding that like 88 area basically. So this would, if it continues to hold this would be a higher low in the ultimate trend, right? Because you can see back here was a low, like around the 82 area. And now this would be a higher low. So we'll see if we can get a push back up to that 98 area on oil. Or if we're just going to like have a bear flag, right? Come back down. Because it is a lower high potentially, right? So you got a higher low, but a lower high. So it's kind of like just chopping around right now in this range between like 87 and 97, like a $10 range. But it's all going to be news driven on oil. So yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like oil is just so volatile, and that's the markets right now too, right? Any kind of headline comes out, and you saw what happened. Like the market was kind of down yesterday in pre-market, and that headline comes out, and you see the whole market got a huge pop. But it's interesting how all that stuff happens, right? I mean, you look at like the Qs and everything, and we were coming down to Like, look where we were yesterday. Some pretty big support, right? Like it was going to take a lot to keep flushing through this area. But you got that headline and got a huge pop up, right? Same with SPY. So we came down to here. You can see over here, like all this price action, like it was going to take a lot to get through that, right? So it's almost expected to have a bounce. That news came out and that like gave the market the reason to bounce it, right? So not only were we getting into some support, but that news headline comes out and it's really going to push it. So that's exactly what we saw happen yesterday, and then it squeezed a lot of the shorts and they had to cover, and that's why you see such a big move. But it'll be interesting to see if the market kind of fades that whole move today, right? Because you can see on SPY already. So this is the 4-hour time frame. Like we got that push up, pretty big wick, right? We couldn't get it back above that 661 and close. And then we got a wick, and then we're kind of right now it's looking like we're going to continue down. So if we open below this 653 level on SPY, we could get a continuation back to the downside. It's almost what I would expect, honestly. But it looks like we were rejected right here, which you can see was a pretty big area on SPY. Yeah, I agree. It was way too choppy. Got 659 put. Nice. Did you enter like right in this area right here? You gotta start somewhere, right? But that's, as long as you're precise and you make smart moves and just constantly build that account and just don't oversize it. And that's the way to grow it. Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, because here you see we're basically rejected this level there. And rejected there and just flushed down. Yeah, if SPY opens below that 653 area, then I think we're going to see some continuation to the downside. It's a pretty big spot right here for SPY. Yeah, it was. That was good flush for sure. And I don't know about you, but I like it's nicer when you take a trade on the downside because generally you see it move a lot quicker if it goes your direction on the downside than it does the upside. Qs. Yes, exactly. Starting to see the VIX push up a little bit. It's up 2%. Just going to watch that $28 level on the VIX today. So the VIX went all the way down to like 20 yesterday. But like all these upper wicks on SPY to me looks bearish. This is the 4-hour time frame. That's a pretty big wick. Obviously here as well, doji candle, doji. So far, pre-market, we're going lower. But as of right now, we're bouncing off this 653 level. So SPY, if we do open below 653, I do think it'd be a good opportunity for puts. But if we open above the 653, I'd be kind of cautious. We might get a bounce to that 655 area. And there is some news that comes out this morning, so that might move the markets a little bit before the market actually opens. I believe there is one Fed speaker today as well, like this afternoon. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of smart too. Like, if you have a smaller account and then the trend kind of gets developed in the markets by power hour, right? So you have kind of an idea how the market's moving for the day. And yeah, I mean, that could be smart. Be definitely a good strategy. These Qs look like on the 4-hour right now. Yeah, so you can see it's rejecting this 580, basically 590 level on Qs pretty good here. So you can see back here it was support, right? Now on Qs it looks like we're rejecting, making it resistance. It's pretty clear. So we'll see if this trend continues. Like I said, if we get over this 589, 590 level, then you could maybe see some continuation to the upside. But if we keep rejecting here, we're definitely going to come back down for the Qs. Missions, let's see. Yeah, so 815, there's ADP employment change weekly. Non-farm productivity, that's really nothing. Those are nothing. We have the S&P Global Composite PMI flash, Global Services PMI. So that might move the markets a little bit. Then we have 10 o'clock Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index, shipments and Fed services revenues. That's at 10 o'clock. So that's after the market opens. We do have some news. API, crude oil stock change. And then the Fed bar is speaking. So that you might see some moves with that potentially. I didn't think we really had anything yesterday. Um, you had the Chicago Fed. Construction spending, 3-month bill auction. That's all we had really yesterday. I don't know. So we do have a little bit more economic data that will be coming out this morning. So it definitely will more than likely move the markets a little bit. So kind of like your strategy of wait until power hour, because then you'll get a good idea of where we're going to be, right? Like especially like Qs and SPY. If we're above this range here, you're going to be probably more bullish, and if we're below this area here, you're going to be more to the bearish side. Exactly like SPY, right? If you're above a 655.83 level, then you can be more bullish. And if you're still below this 655.83 level, then you're more bearish, right? So definitely something worth paying attention to. But I gotta get going. Good seeing you this morning, and good luck in the markets. If you take anything in power hour, just be patient and take your money when you see it. Don't try to hold for too much, right? Wait, no, yeah, I'm probably not gonna touch Oxy. I'm gonna let it kind of hang out before I probably get back in Oxy. It's made a pretty big move already, so I don't want to get overly confident in it. So I'm gonna let it kind of hang out, and then maybe take a trade on it maybe in the next couple of days or so after everything kind of settles out with oil after it had a big move down yesterday. But I'll kind of revisit it then. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, good luck to you. We'll see you tomorrow morning.